Hello, my name's Penny and this is Penelope's Chinwag and you're most welcome. If you're new, just to fill you in, this is like my diary for the last 3 years. So what's it going to be about this week? Crafting. I'm sitting at my table, as you can see. We've been away for 2 nights and we went to somewhere new and I'll tell you all about that. There's a little film at the end. There's a little film I say a little film, I always say a little film because they're not too long. Do you know what? The sky, the other night, it was so beautiful. And the whole of our conservatory was like a pink colour. It was like sitting in blancmange. It was really lovely. So that's the beginning of the film, just in between, so I don't, just to shut me up in between bits and bobs, I put the film up. So it's a film about what we call the there and back walk, just into town and back. So I'm going to start off with the crafting table. That's right, we've been away, so I had to take, well, there's the ups and downs, there's the pitfalls, there's all the things I've learned. So I'm going to tell you that while I talk about my crafting. Then, oh yes, that's right. There's a little bit about sea slugs because that fits in with my crafting, believe it or not. So I'm going to show you a few photos of sea slugs. Then, what? Well, I am reading you my story, aren't I? So I'll put my story up. Well, I won't put my story up. I'll read you my story, this week's little bit. And then I've got a film of where we went away. Oh, yes, I knew there was something else. Well, last time I put my video up, oh, do you know what? It happens every time. When you upload a video and you do it to YouTube, you can put it on private, which means nobody can see it except for you. Unlisted, which means only the people that you send the link to can see it, and public. I never forget the first time I pressed public. I mean, it gives you the heebie-jeebies, quite frankly. And it still gives me the heebie-jeebies. I do my episode, I watch it, I check that it's all right. And then it just comes that it's uploaded, everything's done, and I have to press public. And I just get the butterflies. It's not anxiety, it's the butterflies. I just think, oh no, I can't. Oh no, nobody will want, anyway, you go through all of that. And I'm sure most of us YouTubers do. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one, but I don't think I am. Anyway, last week it was even worse because I decided to put up a bit because I told you, oh, that's right. I told you about, this is what my friends have to put up with. This is how I talk to them. And they say, we love it, Pen, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But anyway, that's right. I told you how Chinwag started. And it started on the back of me doing 10 minutes a day. Well, I did 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, and maybe a couple of 10 minutes at lunchtime for, the 2 years that Pete and I were here not going out. And yes, I've got 1,500 videos. Anyway, someone said, oh, put it up, and I did. But I did have trepidation when I pressed public, but it went down quite well. And I said to friends, I shouldn't have done it. No, they said it was funny. You liked it. So I'm going to put a bit more up, but before I put that up, I will explain it. So deep breath. Yes, joy. It's the crafting table, and so I'm sitting here looking at it. And I'm going to turn you around so you can see it. So we went away, long and the short. And what I've learned is, one, I love doing top-down woolies. I love it. There's no sewing up. I sewed something up yesterday. I'll show you in a minute. And I mean, it takes forever to sew something up, you know, nicely and properly. But when you do it top down, I keep cutting the top of my head off. When you do it top down, you don't have any sewing up. It's all done. You knit the sleeves in the round. And by the way, to a friend, I was talking to a friend yesterday, and she's got that, you know, wool that goes variegated. And she did the back of something, knitting it flat. When we say knitting it flat, it means knitting it in pieces. She did the back of something, and then of course she wanted to do the front, but you can't, it's completely different to the back. It's all the different colours and the different waves, and you've either got to go for that sort of look or not. She didn't like it. Whereas if you knit top down, you're knitting the back and the front all in one. And I think that would suit that wool, Linda, very well. Anyway, there I am. I needed to finish the jumper that I'm knitting, which I've shown you so many times now, and it's in this bag. It's in this bag, and here it is. It hasn't been touched. Not touched. It's called the Forest Light, isn't it? But it hasn't got his sleeve. Now that's not going to take me long, and I'm going to do it this weekend. But you see, I didn't want to take all that away with me to knit a sleeve. You've got all this on the train, or we go by train everywhere, because I don't like driving too far now, and I didn't want it on the train. That's my next thing. It's there, ready. It shall be done. So what I decided to do was knit a cardigan for Mila. And what I'm doing is I'm using all my stash. I'm not buying any wool. Can you see there? That I'll show you that in a minute. That's all beautiful alpaca, cashmere. It's beautiful wool. But yes, that's what I need to work through that. Not buy any more. But of course that's easier said than done, because I've now got to match a pattern to the amount of wool that I've got, and that's quite a task. So I decided to knit Mila, who is my great-granddaughter, for those of you that don't know. I wanted to knit her this, let me see if I can see it. It's not too good a picture, but I wanted to knit this for her. Mila's just started school, and she's 4.5, well, 5 in November. So it won't be long and she'll be 5. This is Debbie Bliss Cashmerino Aran. However, the wool that I have is a Debbie Bliss, whoops, but it's Falkland Aran. See, I've got it in white and I've got it in yellow. So I'm going to knit this for George, who is Mila's brother. He's 1.5. And this for Tommy, he's 2.5. So I've got 3 of each. But of course, I bought this some time ago, bought 3 for Mila. But of course, she's now coming up for 5, as we say. So I ran out of wool. Oh no, what shall I do? That's the problem, isn't it? What shall I do? I was going along great, and then no, here it is. And I have my favourite jumper knitted in this, which is a West Yorkshire Spinners. My whole jumper's knitted in this, and it washes so well. It's beautiful. It's an Aran. Some of you might recognise it. But it blends, doesn't it blend well? Wasn't I lucky? So I knitted that for Mila. Took it away with me last Monday, and it's done. I'm really pleased with it. It feels beautiful. You just get this little bit of cotton. It feels beautiful. It's got just an edge of garter stitch. the same at the bottom. It hangs beautifully, and there we are. But running out of wool, I might not have had anything that went, and I couldn't get any of it online. I didn't want to buy any more. That's the whole point of it. So using up stash does have its challenges, and knitting things top down for me traveling has its challenges, because I don't want to wrestle with a big garment. So this was the ideal. I knitted the back on the way that it just knitted up so quickly. So there we are, all finished. And the buttons, I bought them years ago from a little shop on Briar, which is one of the Isles of Scilly, and the lady on St Mary's, she makes them. And I bought quite a few, and these are my last now. I think I've just got some green ones, but don't they go well with this? I was so pleased. So there we are, that's my first thing finished. But it was started because I'm using my stash and I wanted something small, or in pieces, as we say, knitted flat. So I'm knitting my stash, and I'm going to knit this one next in the Falkland Aran, and just hope I have enough for Tommy. It's in a fisherman's stitch, do they call it that? A ribbed cardigan, yes. And this will be for George. This is the next one, but he's 1.5, so we'll just see. Let's face that one when it comes. Now, I have finished the quilt. I'm absolutely thrilled to bits with it. I can't tell you how thrilled to bits with it I am. Well, I can, I'll tell you, I'm thrilled to bits with it. It's just turned out better than expected. I said to my friend Heather, it feels like a regular quilt. It drapes like a regular quilt. I was so worried about the quilt as you go. Would it be, you know, strong enough? Would it just be? It's the same. I love it. I've cracked it. And I did say I would show you the stitch I eventually chose to use. So here we go. It's all sewn together. I'll take a photo of it. There's the back. It's quite fun. The back is quite fun because I used the same fabric. It's the same fabric, but all different colours. I just had it in my stash. Again, all stash. I call it an I Spy quilt because you have to I spy with my little eye something beginning with H, or find the lady with the umbrella, or whatever. And I did the label, and it's called, I've got to look now, Starting School, because she started school last week, and Sleepovers, because this is going on her bed at her nanny's house, my daughter's house. I put a little handmade bunny, and I've put this on there, and I'm going to tuck in here. I'm going to put her a little scrunchie, you know what you do the hairs, you know, ponytail, or something she can keep a little treasure in. So that's the label on the back for her. And I will lay this on the floor. Shall I stand at the end? Oopsie. I lay it on the floor and I'll take a photo of it so you can see it. So I'm finished. Oh, really pleased. It's sturdy. It's lovely. Now, I was going to do a video, and who knows, I still might if I have time, which I hope to, but at the minute I haven't managed to do it. So you wanted to know, lots of you wanted to know the stitch that I decided in the end is right for me. And because I made this for Mila, I decided I want one for myself. And as you know, I did family sayings last week, and I had so many of your lovely family sayings. Oh, they made us chuckle. They were so lovely. Of course, we all have them, don't we? I was just about to say one of our family sayings, which is I want one. And I decided I want one. And so I'm going to make myself one. But I've already got a head start because I looked at the squares that I'd already made and I put them on a roll, you know. I made them into a roll. This is from the old mills, you know, up to north, the cotton mills. I love it. And I wound it round. I didn't like that for me because you have to unravel it, and it was very long. It's all, you can't look at it without unraveling it all and undoing it all. So I've taken it off. I've now got my bag that I made full up with squares that was all ravelled up there. Look at them. It's not enough for a quilt, but it's the startings. So I'm going to sew them together. And I did have two put by, so that's my bag for my quilt. Just here was, oh, they're on the floor, hang on. And I'm going to show you how I sew them together. When I was faced with the pile to do, you know, for Mila's quilt, I just thought, I can't do that. I can't do it. It's too much. Double thread and that ladder stitch going from side to side. I knew it wouldn't be good for me. I want to do that, not that. So here we go. Here we go. So as you know, I like to, let's see, can you see? As you know, I like to miter my corners because that's what we do in quilting. And I have shown you on previous episodes. I think that looks neat, don't you? Well, that's my preference. So my corners are mitered. I put, what do I put? I put wrong sides together. And then I go up the miter. I go up the miter with my needle and come out right on the corner. Can you see that coming out right on the corner? So I come out and I'm going to put it right in the corner of that one. Okay, now I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back on myself in there, tiny little stitch, and I'm going to go in there and come out. In the middle, in between the two of them, pull it towards me, and then in the middle, going towards the back. So you can see I'm going backwards and forwards. I'm going backwards and forwards. I'm not going side to side. That side to side wouldn't have been good for me. Can you see that? I'm in the middle. That's it. Backwards and forwards in the middle. And you can see, look at that. What a strong stitch. Just a single thread. But still very movable. And very pleasant to do. I mean, you know, very pleasant to do. I'm just sitting there. I'm not going over and over it. I'm that way in the middle, that way in the middle. So that is it. That's my crafting table. So I'm going to be making myself a quilt, but I'm going to start off with the ones that I've, you know, started a little while ago. So I'm going to go and sit in a comfy chair and get myself prepared, and I'll see you in a minute. So let me show you. This is some of my stash. Not all of it, but it's what I want to use next. I've got a little bit in a box on the next shelf here, which I will put up on this shelf. And today I was thinking, oh, what am I going to knit with it? What am I going to knit? It is absolutely beautiful. I've had it a long time. I mean, this is Artisano alpaca silk floor ply, and it's just lovely. It's beautiful. Why wouldn't I want to use it? But what to knit? What to knit? So I thought of the sea glass cardigan. That's knit in double knit, but you can knit it. I'll put it up here. Photograph of it. And then your mind starts boggling. It absolutely boggles. I've got this here. I want to knit the sea glass cardigan. Will somebody please tell me how to do it, what to do, what colours to, you know, the putting it together is, it's going to take me a day, I can see it. And it made me think, I have done a video on it, you know, the fascinating fact of the sea slug, and how the sea slug doesn't worry. It, you know, it knows it looks fantastic, whatever the colour. I shall put some up here while I'm talking. I mean, aren't they just out of this world? And so, you know, creation, it just seems to get the colours right. And I'm sure they'll go together. I've just got to sort it out. And will I knit the sea glass cardigan? I don't know. Or will I knit, well, oh, that reminds me. I knit a blanket with some wool that I got from Anne of Spa Knits. There's just a little bit left there. And Pete has it on him, you know, whilst he's watching television. Constantly, and if it's really chilly, he puts a quilt on the top of that. But he loves this blanket. I've never been a one to knit blankets. I don't crochet, and I can crochet, but I don't, because it doesn't help me, you know. Anyway, he loves it, and do you know it? In all seriousness, he said to me this week, "Pen, I want you to knit me something." I said, "Right, what would you like, love?" He said, "A onesie." Well, he's 6 foot tall, you know. He's a big chap, and he wants a onesie knit. 4-ply or Aran? I said, definitely no. I'll knit you another big blanket, and you can put that over you. So this may be it, mightn't it? I don't know. So I'm going to put a little film up now, and it's of yesterday's evening. What's it called? Sunset? As I said, the conservatory was like being in a bowl of blancmange, and then the full moon, and then our walk into town and back. And that will give you a little break from my voice. And we'll come back and I'll see what's what then. See you in a minute. So it's been a beautiful day, really sunny, warm, but blowy. And boy, we couldn't walk down the bottom, you know, where we usually walk. We'd have just got soaked. Even the cars weren't. Oh, it was lovely to watch though. It was invigorating. It was lovely. So I thought I'd share that with you. So what's next? Well, shall we have a little bit of silliness next? And then I'll read you my story before I go. And so the silliness is me, well, chatting to my friends basically during lockdown. I think it was about 7 weeks into lockdown, and yes, I was all right, but I wanted to clean the house. And don't forget, 7 weeks before I was working, because I retired the exact week that lockdown started here. And so I was used to going to work, and quite honestly, Pete sort of kept the house running, and you know, it worked really well. Anyway, here am I retired, loving it. I didn't mind lockdown at the time. We were only 7 weeks in, but I did want to clean the house, and you know, things were different, weren't they? So Pete went up the end of the garden to do a bit of gardening, and I was overjoyed, but it didn't quite work out. So you'll see why. And then I put a little clip of me, oh yes, trying on my wig that I had for a fancy dress. I went as Doris Day. And so there's a little clip of me with the wig. There's a little clip of me in my onesie, because I was trying to get how to do, you know, I didn't know how to film and put it on YouTube, and it was all so new for me. And so I was trying to talk to them and get it to go. And and also I was trying on my hat. I had to take it up just a little bit. So it's just clips of me with things on my head, basically. So have a laugh at my expense. Hello, girls. Oh, it's one of those days. It's Monday. It would be a lot easier to go to work. Not that I want to. I really don't want to. But it is easier. There's something about it, isn't there? You go and it's all of this. Because it's a bit tricky here. Tricky worker for me. We got up early. We went for our walk. It was delightful. And then came back, had some breakfast. And I can't get on. I need the house empty to be able to clean it. So then Pete said, oh, we've had a big, in his wildlife hedge, a great big, you know, the wild rosy thing. It's all blown down with all the gales we've had. He said, I'm going to go up, tronker that down, get rid of it. I thought, oh, goody. He'll go up there. I can just whiz round. Kitchen, I'll just get the kitchen cleaned up. And then, of course, he comes straight back in his welly boots in the kitchen. I thought, what's the point? There's no point. He switched the tronker on, and it's fused everything. Everything's fused. No electric fence for the chickens. I thought, oh, I just thought I was going to have, you know, half an hour to be able to clean round. You just need that space to clean round. But that's how I'm feeling. Anyway, we got some plants come. Pete thinks they won't take because they come through the post and they've been so long in the post. And they came with this over the top of them. It's just too good for turtles to swallow, isn't it? You know, I don't want to throw it away. So Monty Don says use it. So I thought I'd use it. But I mean, you know, just all the electrics now. He's up there, he's doing it. I can see. Right up the end. He's so tall, I can see just his white blob of hair. He's all right. I just thought I was going to have half hour to myself, and now I've got this. It's just how I'm feeling, isn't it? That's okay. So I went downstairs last night and did all through. And you're going to laugh, girls. You're really going to laugh, because the only way I can do all through is one, for him to be sitting doing his crosswords and out the way, and then I go brrr. I have to do it with that hairnet on. It's so comfortable. It is the most comfortable thing. And I've just put that on, and I really feel in the mood then for cleaning. So these are my cleaning bits. Yeah, that fits better. Nice and warm, fits round the ears, no fiddling about. And of course the crown's gorgeous, isn't it? But yeah, so that's done. Oh, now if I go small, will it go... Oh, I want to go small, but it'll click off. No, it didn't. Oh, how marvellous. Right. Suit me? I think I'm more of a dark person, don't you? Well, it's 7 weeks today. I've been in lockdown. Lockdown. I hate that word. I'm not using it again. End of. 7 weeks today. I've enjoyed myself at home. I haven't been out. 7 weeks is a long time, and it feels like 2.5. I mean, I was going to sort the larder out. You know, all those jobs, sort the desk out. I've got much more important things to do. But shall I take this off, or is this me? What do you think? It's very warm. Oh, I feel like a drag artist. That was a funny feeling. Why a drag artist? Well, you know, because they have all their hair plastered down, don't they? And then they put their wigs on. Let's say an actress. No, it was definitely a drag artist. There we are. Madness, really, isn't it? But yeah, just talking to friends, and we were all separated. It was lockdown and times were different, weren't they? Anyway, back to today. I'm going to read you a little bit of my story, and thank you for being interested. That's all I can say. So I left you at Mevagissey, and well, you weren't at Mevagissey, but I was at Mevagissey, as my brother said, bubbling under, slipping off the lilo. And so we'll carry on. Another hobby of Dad's was photography. Would you like to help me develop some photographs? He'd ask casually. Yes, I'd reply excitedly, because I knew this meant Mum would vacate our tiny kitchen and it would be mine and Dad's for a time. Out would come the trays, the fixer and the line to hang the photos on. I felt such enchantment as Dad and I watched the image gradually appearing. I sloshed the paper through the chemicals using the metal tongs and then handed the photo to Dad, who would hang it on the line to dry. He used to put a little line up, you know. I don't know if he had hooks on the ceiling or what, but well, not on the ceiling, but on wall to wall. It was a very small kitchen, and he'd hang this line up and then peg them all along. What a smell. Yes, it was a peculiar smell, one of its own. Gorgeous, a smell all of its own. Dad never remembered what was on the films that he'd taken and would call out to Mum, "Oh, Eva, it's so-and-so." "Oh, lovely," was her absent-minded reply. She was probably counting rows or reading Chris a bedtime story, glad that Dad and I were out of her way for a while. I went to dancing classes and loved tap. When we were all in a line and tapping together, I felt exhilarated. We had special uniforms made. These were button-through dresses with an S for Sergeant embroidered on the top pocket. Miss Sargent was a professional. Every year she hired the local school for a couple of nights. The excitement backstage built up, and it was a noisy affair until Miss Sargent boomed, "Quiet, girls." Then everybody shook with anticipation, on with the show. I remember dancing to the tune of "Around the World." I could sing it to you now, but you know, YouTube has copyright all the time. All our shoes tapping in unison. What will Mum and Dad think of it? Where are they? I screwed up my eyes to see if I could see them, but all I could see was the darkness. I'd overheard Mum telling her friends that Ron will come, and then raising her eyes. I understood that to mean he would be there under sufferance and couldn't understand why. Surely he could see this was the best thing since sliced bread. He arrived late, but at least he came. Lots of congratulations at the end of the show, but for me the best bit was slipping out of my tap shoes, proud that I'd performed the routine I'd been practicing for a year. Back at school, I progressed to the 2 upstairs classrooms. They remind me now of Amish rooms. Plain pegs, wooden floorboards, and I don't remember any pictures on the wall. There was a small blackboard and easel and about 10 or 12 desks. The rooms were adjoining, and if we passed through one to get to the other, we always said in a sing-song voice, "Excuse me, Miss Parsonson." It was very comfortable in these classrooms, but I can't remember anything of any significance happening. I do remember my teacher having a pile of gummed coloured paper and lining up to choose 2 sheets. I glanced at the colours and wanted pink and blue. "Please don't let them be chosen," I muttered. They weren't, and I remember feeling so pleased that I could have the ones I wanted, and also amazed that others didn't want the best colours. We cut the coloured sheets into strips and wove them together to form a mat. I also remember walking home one day about this time and some boys throwing a snowball at me. Inside the snowball was a large chunk of ice. It hurt as it struck the back of my leg, and I clearly remember standing there and being shocked that anyone could do something so horrid to another human being. I had a lot to learn about life. So we'll leave it there. And I'll just tell you about the film that I'm going to put up now. We went to stay in the Star in Alfriston in Sussex. Pete used to walk regularly on the South Downs with his friend. He used to get the train from London, from Victoria, and then spend all day, 10 or 12 miles walking the South Downs. He absolutely loved it. And he had a hankering to go back, not to walk 12 miles now, but just to see the Downs and to be there. As you know, where we live, it's by the sea and it's very flat. So off we went and we stayed in the Star, which is a hotel that Alex Polizzi and Olga, her mum, did up. It was on the television, renovated, that's the word. And what a beautiful job they've done of it. Olga's dad, who was Lord Forte, he actually owned the hotel at one time. It was a series on the TV. I don't know if you watched it. And we did watch it, and we saw the hard work that had gone into the hotel. And Alex is often there. We did bump into her, and I like that because it's her baby and she loves it. So many chefs, they open places, don't they? And then you never see them there, and somebody else is put there to run it. But no, Alex is there and she lives nearby, and it has that feel to it. Everything about the hotel, in our opinion, was right. Beautiful food, beautiful service, and beautiful rooms in a beautiful place, the South Downs in Sussex. So we didn't walk the 12 miles, but we did get up to the top, and we saw the sea from the top, and then we walked down, and it wasn't too bad. Pete managed it and it was good. Well, I managed it too, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to put up the film, and at the beginning there is a photograph of 2 men and 2 boys standing outside the entrance to the Star many years ago, obviously. The inn dates back to the 15th century. It was known as the Star of Bethlehem until at least 1520. At that time it was run by the monks of Battle Abbey and offered shelter to friars and pilgrims on their way to the shrine of St. Richard at Chichester. There's a wooden sanctuary post and that's in the bar. It's still there, so keep your eye open towards the end of the film, because you see this sanctuary post. It goes from ceiling to floor, and if people that you know, wanted to escape the law, if they came in and touched this post, it was said that it would give fugitive instant church protection. And as I say, it's in the bar, so it is part of the film. There was a beautiful bookshop a couple of doors away, so have a look out for a bench, a gorgeous bench that was in the garden. It was the most unusual bookshop. Much Ado About Nothing, I think. That's what the name of the bookshop was. Beautiful little garden and a shepherd's hut in the garden, rooms upstairs that you could sit and read, and this lovely bench that had been carved with books all at the back. And have a look out for that in the film. And then there's a beautiful old-fashioned village stores. It's still got the, you know, where they used to put the money in the thing and it goes shh, you know, and go over and go up to the wherever, up to the offices. The Co-op always used to have it in Tottenham, but they've still got that. And they've got all old cabinets, and I didn't put too much in there, but there's a couple of shots of the shop and the cabinets. Crawford biscuits, I think. It's just beautiful. It really has an old feeling, and I think the old counter is centuries old. There's a 14th century clergy house that's next to the church and 600 years old. And it's the first property that the National Trust bought. And Pete said it would suit me, because I was standing there thinking, it was closed when we went, but I was standing there thinking a hobbit could live in it. And he said, you know, that's just your size, love, because the door and the windows is so small. But it needs rethatching, I can tell you. It's got all that moss on it. So that's part of the film. And then in the star, Alex Polizzi has carefully chosen everything, and the crockery is just beautiful. Oh, I just love drinking my cup of tea out of it, you know, and having my dinner off the plates. All different leaves on the crockery. Beautiful, beautiful. The bed linen was beautiful, and what I liked was that on the bed head they had you know, cotton, and you'll see it anyway, and pulled threads down the star and embroidered with down the sides, I mean, and a star. And then the blanket that was on, you know, for the bottom of the bed, I'm sure it was handmade. I show you quite a few shots of that. It's beautifully, it looked hand woven, and the blanket stitch on the edge certainly was hand done. So everything was aesthetically so beautiful. But what made it was the staff being so friendly. They looked after us. The food was beautiful. So I must say, we have booked up to go there in October and take our daughter and our husband for a few nights. So we're looking forward to that. So there we are. That's this week's episode. And thank you so much for being there and for watching and for your wonderful comments. I so appreciate them. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.